Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube video at True Divine 44. On my channel, you can also get me on my Facebook page, True Divine 44. It is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter, and any likes, shares, subscribes, comments are greatly appreciated, and much love to everybody who is doing that thus far. I appreciate you all. I've been having some problems with Zoom. Just on and off for a few of the personal readings, but I've got in touch with everybody for that, so I'll continue to get in touch with you guys to catch up. I don't know what's been going on with it today regarding inviting people. So this is part of the free daily energy stroke tarot readings that I do. I combine energy work that I do and tarot to bring a narrative to you to help guide your day, to help you figure out the energies within you, within others, and indeed around you. To make the most of your day, my aim is that you take what resonates, because it is general, and leave what doesn't, but most of all, just use what you can use to make the best of your day each and every day. So I missed yesterday's because one, a few problems with Zoom that didn't meant I couldn't get it done quickly, but two, Theodore had to go to a dentist appointment that I've been waiting to get on for the longest time. So he got all sorted, he's out of pain, so that's really good, but that took priority, obviously. So this is for the 30th of September 2020. So as we move fast and furiously into October, you know, everybody in the know has been talking about this October pain, this, you know, this time of turmoil. As far as the astrologers that I follow, you know, certainly in the planets, regarding Mars and Saturn, you know, it is, as the Leo King would say, the battle of the gods right now. And you can feel it, of course you can. But which gods are reflected on the earth here? Because to me, the planets and the transits that they make give us the opportunity in our individual lives to make the most of the opportunity, ride the highest energy that day, that week, that month, in the best aspect, if we can look at it through the lens of the planet, to get things changed, to get things achieved. As I'm feeling that from Mars very much so lately, which is a powerful energy. You know, with Saturn, it feels a bit like a changing of the guard regarding the Saturn and Mars transits that are going on right now. I don't know enough to ever be able to claim to be able to explain to others. I know enough to be able to understand it, transmute it, and use it as another tool. But I do follow Maruma too, and the Leo King, who've never faltered thus far. They're really good at what they do. So they can explain a lot more to you if you want to go and add to what you're getting here today, another layer of understanding regarding the energies around you and how you can harness those energies from the planet. Now, as far as the battle of the gods that is described by the Leo King, to me, which gods are we dealing with on the ground though? Because to me it feels like a lot of people are giving up, thinking that they can't change anything, that these people who've been in charge for far too long have been in charge for far too long, and therefore it's always going to be that way. I disagree. I feel that these few have decided themselves to be gods, and as we are all part of the divine spark, they're not wrong. But to be gods and goddesses over us, that's where I think they're wrong, and that's where I think they're overplaying their hand. So before you give up, try getting on board of transmuting those energies from above down right through you to below. Try, you know, lifting your frequency so that these people don't get away with dress up God and Goddess for any longer over other people's lives. So we feel this energy in the Eight of Wands with this first card here. Fast and furious, fiery energies exchanging through the air, speedy arrows of messages, passionate exchanges. So in your personal life, in individual, on an individual basis, regarding friends and lovers, business partners, it might be that right now you are feeling the energies together, and this is hugely passionate exchanges, getting in touch with old lovers, huge boosts of energy, you know, really going after what you want. Or it might be that you're at loggerheads and there's hugely passionate energies exchanging back and forth in a not so desirable way, where you're both feeling the tension on either side, and instead of exchanging it together, you exchange it towards each other. And so you might find that today in particular. Also, you might see some arguments on the street, I feel, where perceptions, how things are perceived by others, arguments maybe in the stores, or just when you're out and about in general, you might see little arguments, exchanges of fiery, passionate words being exchanged with people. And again, it's people just reacting to the energies within them and around them, especially those people who don't take the time to understand what they're feeling or understand the energies that are around them, above and below. We also see on the collective stage today that there are lots of hugely open-aired discussions regarding you know, the stage show, let's call it, that is politics, particularly in both the US and the UK, but also very fiery messages coming from other governments that have just about had enough of this fiasco that's been going on, and never really seemed to make the deal to be in on it quite so much as certain countries in the world did, UK being a huge one of them. And so we see, I think, today that we will experience truths coming out from other governments that may be censored, but the truth will come out. It really does feel like this is the start of the, and I say start, which sounds a bit odd for what we've been through and the truths that have been coming out thus far, but this that feels like it's been a bit of a warm-up. Today is like the, okay, let's get going, you know, let's shoot those arrows. And so there is a lot of exchange going. The best thing you can do is exchange your truths, do it in a balanced and whole way, and do your best to stay out of the crossfire of said arrows. If it's not your problem today, don't try and fix it. Concentrate on your wants, concentrate on the passionate communications that you need to make, either in business or in personal relationships, or just in general to yourself, so that you can exude the energy and the passion behind these wants that you want to bring yourself into the next part of your cycle. It being the 8, the infinity sign, you know, on its side, the balance, the sway. You know, what have you learned so far? Have you learned how to harness this fire, this element of yours that can either propel you forward or can burn you? You know, are you going to get burned by your own passions? Are you going to get burned by your own wands? Or are you going to use them to light the way? Are you going to use them to make connections that are useful in whichever way, shape or form that applies to you? So we've got the Chariot card to clarify this 8 of Wands, which makes complete sense. This being a major arcana that's fast moving, fast paced, the balance again coming in of the yin and the yang, the two beings on either side pulling the Chariot. In this card, it's the dragon card, so they're pulling the dragon, and you know, they're going fast. This is when reality starts to move fast. So where you've been thinking things have been too slow, where you've been thinking things are dragging on a bit, which we've had a lot of, all of a sudden we start to see these fast movements in the reality, physical movements. We might see though that lots of people traveling to get out of certain areas today. And I hope that's not because of any more fires. It feels like it might be. And so, you know, fast movement, fast paced in the reality, away from extremes like that. And let's hope that's not the case. But also, where you've been waiting to move house, where you've been waiting to maybe make a business move, or where you've been maybe waiting to get serious in relationship, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it seems things balance out, you know, because you've used that fire element correctly. Things balance out, and things all of a sudden start to move. The date is set, the day, the time, the place is set, the person is set. Or indeed, it might be that you have not got your element in order, you haven't been working with that fire element, and today you find an explosion where there might be some breakups in relationships, going in a completely different direction in your reality. Where you were going to move one place, you decide, or the universe pushes you to move to a completely other location. And so take that as that resonates for you. There's lots going on today regarding that, but only use what is applicable to you, because of course everything is trying to distract us from the us right now, the you, the individual. Don't let that happen, because that's exactly the opposite of what you want to do. You want to be concentrating on how to move forward in your own life right now, and putting out that frequency of growth. Now, this is the Six of Swords. You can see this is a game of strategy. It's intellect, it's air, it's thought. And so you can see that it's in reverse here. So where has there not been growth within the way that you're thinking? Where have you been limiting yourself? Have you indeed fell into the trap of listening to too many others' exchanges of fiery wands and messages regarding things that, you know, might concern you, yes, but personally, physically, here and now with the Chariot card, do they concern you? Probably not. Where have you been losing track and forgetting to concentrate on you and your growth rather than concentrate on others and indeed the collective stage? So to turn this the right way up, you know, spend some time in your thoughts today. Spend some time questioning yourself of where you could have grown through this, where you have grown through this and just not giving yourself the recognition for it, and how you can move forward with that growth, with that new intellect, with that new wisdom. Most of the wisdom today will come from being able to, what's the saying, let go and let God, in that, you know, let yourself be a little bit more flowing. And that makes sense that the Page of Wands clarifies this Six of Swords to be more mutable, to be more changeable, to be more in flow, to have a more childlike curiosity about life right now, because everything is all so serious and it can't continue that way. Otherwise, you do put this back in reverse and send yourself crazy. Not being able to see the good, not being able to see the wisdom, to see the growth, to be more like child, to be more mutable and in flow, and recognize, like this Page of Wands does, that change does happen, and not all change is bad. Even when it feels funny, even when it feels strange that it's coming in, because, you know, we've been indoctrinated to become more creatures of habit, little boxes on the hillside styly. You know, this reminds us to be more childlike, to be more inquisitive, and to be more in flow and of high frequency, more mutable. Again, it's fire, it's passion, it's moving, it's going forward, but not being fixed as to which way your flames dance. Now, the next card is another major arcana card. It is the Fool card. There is a new beginning. There is a new cycle coming in. We are being in the midst of this big reset. There's no stopping that. So where do you want to be on the other side of this? This Fool card asks us to center ourselves. It's at the zero. It's at the start. When you combine that Page of Wands and the Chariot, it tells you that all of a sudden, after a long, slow-like feeling period, things are going to speed up. So be ready to be in flow, to be ready to move with it, to be ready to, gain everything that you can gain from it, all of the experiences that you can experience. It says here that a lot of people are missing something, just as in this growth card being in reverse, with the Four of Cups clarifying this Fool card. We see that we're missing this cup from the sky, we're missing this heaven-sent gift, we're missing things that are good as we come into this reset, because there is a lot of projected negativity, and because the positivity isn't as made apparent with mainstream media and whatnot. It's easy to fall into the trap of not seeing the experiences that are to be had here, to get right in front of the line with a newness about this cycle, to be right on time, to grab that cup. That comes through some meditation time too. This Four of Cups could mean that you need to contemplate a little bit more of where that growth needs to be either recognized or indeed done regarding your wisdom, your intellect, and your thoughts. More often than not for people today, it is going to be that you've allowed your frequencies to be lowered, you've allowed your thoughts to be infiltrated too much, and you're speaking too lowly of self. You're speaking too lowly of the reality that we're wanting to manifest. You're a little bit burdened, a little bit humdrum about how things are going to look. The wisdom here is to lift yourself above what perception others are putting out there for you to deliberately pick up on, because that's exactly what they want you in a lower frequency, and lift yourself up to this joyful Fool card that is ready for anything and ready to harness the energies around him rather than avoid them, ready to build himself up to them, big himself up. You can see here this Fool card, he's on a stage, he's holding his hands up, he's balanced out, he's doing tricks, he's being watched by the crowd. You know, he's not afraid to be up there and ahead of the crowd, being the first to do something. So look for where that growth needs to be. Now that might come through a lot of reflecting. I heard some people in my mind's eye today regarding hearing a lot of people saying, oh, if we could just go back to the way things were. And so with this Six of Chalices, the Six of Cups, we hear and feel as empaths, psychics, whatever you might be, a lot of people looking back in nostalgia, and that is good. There's a lot of things that we need to take forward and not throw the baby out with the bathwater, but also to recognize that things don't stay the same. Cycles don't stay the same. Seasons don't stay the same. Things live, they die, they come up and they shrink back down. There has to be flow to this. So we have to be able to take what is good from our past as lessons and experiences for the future. There's a lot of past proving present right now. If you want to know where we really were in the past, look to the present right now. All of the truths coming out about conditioning, controlling, manipulation of the masses, then you know that this started a long time ago, because this could only be in our present right now if this has been a long, meticulous game by the few to the many. And so to hook into that and not allow that anymore is a powerful thing also, to lift your wisdom about what is really going on right now. What is just your perception, because that's what you're picking up on, because that's what they're asking you to pick up on, and what is actually your reality. And so on the bottom of the other deck, we have the Hermit card. So all of these cards combined go into the Hermit card. Where do you need to grow? What parts of your past do you need to let go of? And you can only truly do that when you do this Hermit energy, to not be afraid to contemplate, to look within the past, present, and the future, in the energy of the Hermit card, to walk those inner gardens without fear of what you might find, without fear of being able to face self, because it's just you facing you, and the liberation that you'll feel will shrink the level of any intrepidation or fear that you might have felt beforehand, once you've done this Hermit energy card with this contemplation of the past. You can directly go within self and directly influence your present now by time traveling into your past. And with this Hermit card, looking at transmuting the energies of whatever experiences you've been through in the past, and literally lifting your present up, changing time, changing your timeline, changing your history, because you're reaching into self and literally changing your perception of whatever that corner might be within you. That immediately has an effect on your present and therefore your future. That nothing is missing here. You can always go back, and especially when it's within you, we'll figure out a way to make it influence you positively, both in your present and in your future. So I hope that helps many of you today. Take the day for all it's worth. Yes, take note of what is going on, but only do that if you know that you can stand strong and not get pulled into any spell work, that you have your own perceptions, and that you are willing to do the hermit energy to continuously clear yourself of anybody else's perceptions, including mainstream media, politicians, friends around you, lovers around you. Make sure that they are your perceptions. So if you can do that, if you can be honest with yourself and know that you are strong of mind enough to do that, strong of emotional balance enough to do that, then go ahead and take note. If not, be honest with yourself and just ignore the world today and look within you and change everything that you can to elevate your present and therefore your future. You can do it. Much love, be balanced and be whole. If you'd like a private reading with me, hit me up at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, or you can get me on Facebook, private messenger at truedivine44. Much love, stay balanced and be whole. Mwah.